All right.
Candyman, 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 Candyman.
Candyman.
We hear you looking for Candyman, bitch.
What's the matter, Trevor? Scared of something?
Man, get the hell off me, man! Hey! Don't you say that!
Tonight our congregation shall witness a new miracle.
Hey! If any of you are looking for any last-minute gift ideas for me, I have one.
Suck my dick, Christmas! Fuck you!
I said that Candyman just ain't coming out the mirror, man. Just say Candyman. Candyman, Candyman, Candyman.
No,
Candyman,
he's never gonna come.
Candyman.
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 Wait a minute, this is my motherfucking house, man. What you looking at, man?
Number 5, step forward and say the line.
Give me the fucking keys, you fucking cocksucker motherfucker!
Knock it off, get back.
Say the line again.
How many keys, you cocksucker?
In English, please.
Do it, number 5, or I will arrest your ass for driving without a registration. Now, in a circular motion like this, put your hand on your pee-pee and your balls. Y'all got me going crazy in here. And grab your dick.
Tell me what you're feeling. I know it's hard. Oh my gosh, it's breathing.
I don't even want definition. I just want to be a muscle.
Yeah. Just a conglomeration of those motherfuckers.
I want muscles on my muscles.
Yeah. I want to be so ripped that my muscles are ripped.
Yeah. And that's...
You ever see...
My biceps have abs.
Yeah. You ever see that interview with... what's the dude's name from Always Sunny? Rob...
McElhenney.
Yeah.
They did a whole song.
Yeah. He might have been on Conan. I don't know. It was on one of those shows. Maybe it was when he was talking about how he got in shape.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, it's totally easy. Just make millions of dollars and dedicate like a full year to it and have a trainer and literally don't
all
eat
your meals
anything.
cooked for.
Yeah. He was like, get the studio to pay a trainer and pay a nutritionist and cover all this and just be miserable.
Yeah. No big deal.
I think it was
Only
him and
eat chicken, broccoli, and rice. That's it.
Yeah.
And you can't eat anything else for 6 months.
I think it was
not fun.
Tom Hardy also admitted when he got like in Bane shape. They were like, so like diet and everything. He's like, oh no, I cheated a little bit. Like I did it the dirty way, but
he
don't
looked
do that.
like he did it the dirty way. And
and everyone's like, yeah, it's fucking
up.
steroids. Like, just admit you've been taking steroids because it's shitty for people to read like an interview with Hugh Jackman and be like, oh, so if I just wake up every 6 hours and eat half a chicken and a bowl of white rice, then I'll look like Wolverine.
50s?
It's like, no,
In
you
my
won't.
fucking
You never.
50s.
Not in a million fucking years.
Yeah.
That was there's also Jason Momoa, I think, when that photo came out and he had like a slight beer gut and everyone's like, is Jason Momoa out of shape? And somebody, one of the directors or something was like, no, that's what Jason Momoa looks like 99% of the time.
Right.
It's when he needs to be shirtless as Aquaman that he like fucking tortures himself for a few weeks ahead of time.
Well,
and there was like one movie where he goes, I don't need to have like abs for this shit, right? And they were like, no, you're good. And so Jason, because he was wearing a shirt in that movie and he was like, that's what you look like the whole time. That's normal. That's a healthy body.
Yeah. The same thing with like Skarsgård. You know, you're talking about the Northman. Like, that dude is actually really, I mean, obviously he's in great shape, but he's a really skinny guy. Like a normal, like
he's not a big frame.
No, but for the Northman, like, Jesus.
Well, and that's why he's able to get that ripped because he's already a slight dude. So any muscle that he puts on is already defined as fuck.
Yeah, and he's Swedish, so you know, it's just
yeah,
you know, Genetics
That's
still
science.
Yeah, that's science. That's just genetic science. Just is what it is. He just does a push-up.
Yeah, one. Single
And-
push-up.
Yeah, one single push-up, and he was ready.
The weird thing is his toes aren't even touching the ground.
Yeah. It's that Viking genetics.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, you know, I don't have it. I just have the beard genetics.
I gotta say, this is the worst intro to this set of movies.
You know, we're only 3 minutes and 22 seconds into it. We got to have the first 5 to 10 minutes of bullshit.
Be completely the opposite of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And honestly, Skarsgård's abs in the Northman, it's a pretty solid start.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
So if we compare Tony Todd's
Washboard,
acting, Tony Todd's acting to Skarsgård's abs, there we go.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I watched The Northman and I was like, this man didn't eat any candy.
This
man's
man's abs are as good as Tony Todd.
Yeah.
Didn't have any candy. No, he didn't, dude. No.
Not for a while before that movie.
No. Vikings didn't have candy.
No, that's true.
You know?
That's accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they did.
Yeah, it might have.
No, I don't think so.
They had honey, right?
I mean, they had honey.
They probably drank mead.
They probably accidentally made caramel a couple
But
times.
that's not. Yeah, but dude, that's not like I go to the fucking gas station and get some M&Ms. You know, that's
Well,
candy.
hey, look, a lot of
Candyman's named after honey. So
a lot of stepdads go to the gas station to get meat every night.
Good.
So
That's a good. And they never. Some of them never come back.
never come back. Most of them.
Like fuck this, I'm out. That's you know what? That's a really okay. That's a good segue. Why the fuck? Maybe. And let me preface all this. I watched every minute of both of these movies. I know this is a recurring thing. I don't remember shit.
You're busy.
Maybe
you got shit to do.
Maybe it's a medical condition and I'm just glossing over that fact. I don't know. But I mean, I remember it enough. But why? But, you know, I
when
say
did
that
you
now.
watch? We can preface that we're coming off of a
I
holiday
watched-
weekend.
No, I watched both of them last night.
Oh,
Don't remember, barely remember
So,
anything.
like,
man.
if you watched them on Tuesday and then did Black Friday and Thanksgiving and everything, then that would make sense. But you're like, no, I actually just hit stop.
Just watch it.
It
Yeah.
was all that
As we started
tryptophan.
recording.
That's the excuse.
The credits are rolling behind my screen right now.
Yeah. So I preface that maybe because I did not catch the detail of what I'm about to ask. But Derek, you saying what you just did, why is he called Candyman? If
Honey.
it's just honey?
Because in the second one they fully explain it. They cut off his hand and then they smeared honey on him and just started calling him Candyman because he was covered in honey.
Yeah.
That's dumb as fuck.
Well, they said it 5 times and then he put his soul in the mirror.
Yeah, but so I mean, I know it's just honey, but I mean, honey isn't candy.
I
even
think
from,
they
like
give
the
a
1800 standard.
Another explanation for it in the requel, which we will discuss in the next episode.
God damn it! Now I'm gonna like be on edge for a week.
And there might be a separate explanation for it in the third one that we're gonna watch later. So
That's possible. I mean, I think it's clearly a work backwards situation where they were like, we need a new slasher, and they were like, what names can we come up with for a slasher? And they were like, Candyman, and then
was the Candyman lore and everything?
That's what I was going to ask.
It's not in the first one. It's not in the first one.
No. I mean, did that exist in real life before the movies came out?
No.
Had to have, right?
No,
I don't think so.
it's Clive Barker. Clive Barker was the original writer.
I don't think. I mean, clearly it's based on Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
So I think it was just that they were like, we're just gonna make it 5 times instead of 3, and it's a dude. And in the first one,
IP infringement.
That's the only element. That's the only element.
I want whoever I can't remember who put out fucking Candyman right now, but I want them to get sued by the entity that lives in a mirror called Bloody Mary. This is fucked up.
Yeah, you're infringing on my shit, man. This is how I make a living.
You think you could get away with it because it's 5 instead of 3, but no.
Fuck you.
But yeah,
I'll see you in court.
All the interesting lore.
You don't even have a body. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
It's this bathroom wall. That's my body, okay?
Don't judge me.
Stop body shaming me for being a bathroom.
Right.
What the fuck?
No.
So Bloody Mary existed before Candyman.
Yeah, definitely.
They ripped Bloody Mary off and then created Candyman into a movie.
Yeah. And
so working backwards.
I always connected those dots, even when I was like 7 when I saw it. Like, honey, Candyman. No, I'm not talking the honey.
No, I got that too, yeah.
Yeah, not me, because when I think of candy, I think chocolate and,
I do
fucking cakes.
You don't gotta get racial about it, dude.
Wow.
I don't even know what that means.
I didn't even hear what you said.
You said
just
chocolate.
talking chocolate.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow.
The honey to me was just that made sense.
Yeah.
It was sweet.
Yeah, because I guess
Candyman.
I think it makes
him Honey Man doesn't
it makes
land.
way more
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
It makes way more sense once they go over it in 2 and they show like how he became.
Well, totally.
Yeah.
But like in the first one, it's literally just Candyman's sweets to the sweet, I guess, and bees, because bees are the closest thing to sugar.
Well,
I think that's how it goes.
They explain the background a bit enough in the first one. I think that covers. They say what happened to him. Like,
did they say that they smeared honey on him and then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I do remember that part.
I think it just connects more because there's visuals.
They show
in the second
it.
one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Second one goes a little deeper into.
This is my whole, and I'm sure that this is going to be a hot take from all the reviews I was just reading. Like, everybody loves the first one. I think it sucks. I think it's a fucking. I was like, bro, like. This is a movie about an African-American myth, and it's all about this fucking white lady.
Yeah.
Like, this is, like, I want to see Candyman doing shit, not her fucking exploring the city.
Also that, though. So how did you like the second one that much more?
But it actually, like, goes through his origin. It's part of the story, and then there's way more of him in the movie.
Yeah.
He's barely in the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, Friday the 13th, everything's about Jason, but he's hardly in it. They took that. They took that.
So
100%.
Friday the 13th is also about some white lady who's.
Yeah, but
Jason's
a lot of white ladies.
Too many white ladies. That's the
way too many.
Yeah.
And the fucking then ones that got telepathy. Weird.
One thing that's interesting is I don't know if this is 100% accurate because it was IMDb trivia, but I did find it interesting that in Clive Barker's original writing of this story called The Candyman, Candyman was a white dude, and apparently, or an apparent white dude, had very yellow skin, which probably had something to do with his execution and being covered in
jaundice.
And it was, so I think the
candy refers to the syphilis.
I mean, I guess that makes sense because I'm still hung up on why they called him Candy.
Yeah, now I'm like, why was he yellow? What?
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see too much more than a sentence or two.
As a like vengeful spirit, he's yellow.
Maybe
not like as a dude, as a white dude who dies.
Just a yellow guy, just like a Simpsons
he just had yellow
character.
Skin. Yeah. Oh, God.
Jesus. Yeah.
I want to see that movie.
Don't have a bee, dude. I don't know. There's a Simpsons joke there, but
maybe
it wasn't that one.
No.
Okay, hold on. Maybe he made him yellow in the story because of bees.
Maybe.
Covered in bees.
Yeah. Maybe. I'm sorry, Derek. Where were you going with that?
No. That's where I was.
Oh, okay.
It's just it wasn't baked into the original story. I
guess that's probably why it's weird to me going back because I saw the second one when I was a kid. I didn't see the first one when I was a kid. And as we've seen throughout this fucking podcast, that means I love this movie. But when I went to watch the original finally, like years and years ago, I was like, I don't really like this because my context is it's an African American myth, cryptid, whatever, urban legend, and like that's what I want to watch. I don't really care about her and her husband. And I understand that the whole point is that he's a vengeful spirit that makes everybody think that she's the one actually killing people, and that's what causes the mythology to grow, because then it's like, oh, like I really liked all that stuff, the symbolism, and like, oh, when you'll be eternal when you come with me, because now you're part of the fucking story.
Right.
Like that stuff's really good. It's just I don't know, man. Like it felt like Cabrini Green is, I know it's just a set piece, but it felt like the entire like projects and the entire like all of that stuff is just a backdrop to tell this story, and like I wanted it to have a little more depth to it.
Yeah.
That's just really
I don't know. This one to me, I know we're going to jump between the first and the second one here, because it feels to me the same way the other Clive Barker horror franchise was treated, Hellraiser, where if you weren't
Clive
familiar
Barker did
with
Hellraiser,
it as a kid,
right,
you just assumed, like, I thought Candyman was another slasher like anybody else.
Yeah.
And then I watched the first Candyman again late in life, and I was like, oh, this is like a weird love story. He's not like just this demon who's out slaughtering dozens. Like, there's not a massive body count or anything like that. It's all this psychological and shit like that. Like, I still love the first movie so much, but they did the same thing with Pinhead, where you watch the first Hellraiser and you're like, oh, he's not just this guy who comes out of a box and fucking murders like 20 people. He's like a side piece, like barely even a character without a name. It's all about Frank and this. And then Dimension was like, well, no, we've got to make him a slasher. And then we get Hellraiser 3. And they're like, never mind, we're not very good at doing that. So
well, so much so that even when the second one, because the director Bernard Rose, he actually wrote a script for a sequel. I don't know if you saw that. Yeah, and the studio was like, no, dude, because he didn't want to include Candyman. He was like, he wanted to continue to explore more of these urban myths and lores.
So it was gonna be more like Halloween was supposed to be.
Exactly.
Kinda.
And the studio was like, no.
See, that,
we're gonna fucking.
That's a weird choice to make for a movie that specifically is called the title of a character.
Yeah. But I like the concept for sure.
Yeah, no, I love the concept.
Yeah. Because there's so many urban legends.
Yeah, for sure.
That and they don't really
and Urban Legends doesn't even touch on it really that well.
No. But they did Bloody Mary.
They did do Bloody Mary.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They had a
So Urban Legend actually technically ripped off Candyman.
Yeah, just they took turns. Bernard Rose had a different idea. I read that one, and then there was I think it was Virginia Madsen had said that he didn't want to come back because he wanted they turned Candyman into a slave, and Bernard didn't want to do that. He was like, oh, I don't want him to just be like some slave trope. Like he's supposed to be this educated artist who like got caught up in this shit.
Yeah.
And they're just like, no, we're going to make him this like tortured slave. And he was like, well, I don't, okay. Then
and I think that the way that they because you're talking about the first one or the second one?
This was the sequel, yeah.
Second one.
Because he's not a slave in the sequel. So they must have like skipped past that.
Yeah, they just came. I don't know.
He's just that white lady's lover or husband.
Well, he was also
born on the plantation.
Yeah.
Oh, was he? I didn't catch that part, I guess.
Yeah. Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's he's her fucking, in the second one, he's her grandfather.
Oh, yeah, her grandfather.
Right,
yeah.
Right, but that doesn't make sense to me just because, like, they were in love. The slave part doesn't really, they don't sit on it.
Yeah, they don't really,
they don't harp about it.
They might, like, that was just what Virginia Madsen said was their idea going into the sequel, and that's why Bernard Rose was like, all right, I'm out.
I'm just saying, I'm glad that they didn't go super far into that, because I don't.
Yeah.
Doesn't really.
Well, I know even in the first one, there's a scene. This isn't totally on topic, but it's an interesting thing that I saw in an interview with Tony Todd. In the first one, there's that scene where they're somewhat like an intimate scene where the two of them are in that room where there's the camera's just spinning around them.
Yeah.
And there's a kissing scene that there was a lot of argument over with the studio. The studio didn't want to have that in the movie because they were saying the interracial intimacy was problematic for them. And Tony Todd in the interview, and this was somewhat of a recent interview, he's like, it was okay to have a tall black man covered in bees and fucking like tortured. And it's like, but no, like, let's not show them kissing. It's just, again, it's one of those love-hate relationship things too, right? Because it's badass. Like I love the first movie is fucking awesome to me. And Tony Todd is so fucking good in both of these movies.
Oh yeah,
he's incredible.
That's the thing. Is he's my favorite part of the first one.
Yeah, he's my favorite part in the second.
He's my favorite. He's probably going to be my favorite part of all of these because he's fucking iconic. And the vibe that he has when he's on camera, like in the second one, I have a note there's only 2 modes of Tony Todd in this movie. He's either fucking gorgeous or fucking grotesque. Like there's no in between.
He's Dracula.
He's Dracula.
Yeah. He's fucking awesome. And just his presence, his fucking coat. Is just an iconic look, I guess. Kind of like a Dracula cape.
The whole bees thing is like, okay, maybe it's a little random, sort of, but like no other movie has come even close to doing anything this cool with bees.
No.
Like in that second
Seinfeld
movie,
tried it. But
he made a whole fucking movie trying to do as good as BFX as in Candyman 2. It's crazy.
I guess Jason Statham did too.
Yeah,
That's
no
true.
bees.
Yeah.
Not a single. See, it's what they say. They say never.
He was too busy keeping the bees.
You're right. You're right. But you know what they say? They say never work with kids, never work with animals, and never work with bees.
Yeah.
Speaking of that,
except Jason Statham.
In that same interview I watched, Tony Todd was talking about on set they had a trailer just for the bees, and then and there was a bee wrangler there. The guy's name was Dr. Norman Gary, and he was coaching Tony to get familiar with the bees and not be too scared. And he's like, no, you got to personalize the bees, give them names, individual names. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he was doing it. And he's like, he started to understand. He's like, it takes a little bit of the fear out of it. So he was just like,
sure.
Yeah.
But dude, there's so
also bees. There's 1,000 bees in this hive. That one's Steve. That one's Gary. That one's Rick. That one's.
Dude, he put him in the trailer with the bees, like in the trailer. Shut the door, and he's like, give them names and weird.
They're
shit
fucking
like that.
calling him to set. And he's like, hold on, man, I got to name 500 more bees.
Yeah. But he said it worked, and just throughout his coaching with him, and he only got stung, which sounds like a big number, but way less than I would have thought. He only got stung 26 times in shooting the 3 movies.
Yeah, and didn't.
And it was mostly on his chest, he said. While they were
wasn't there a whole thing where like he got paid an exorbitant amount of money for each?
He got $1,000, I think.
$1,000.
Was it $1,000 or
yeah.
$10,000? Yeah, dude, that's fucking genius. Like,
yeah.
And then the scene with when he's got all the bees crawling out of his mouth.
Oh yeah,
were also real bees, but they were, I think, newborn bees when they don't technically have a stinger yet.
Oh,
so that's how they made it work.
So maybe one of you guys can answer. How did they get the bees in his face in the second movie?
That was fake.
Well,
shut up, Justin. You're crazy.
That was fucking dope. That was a really cool shot.
That was what
I felt like they stayed on it too long because you started to see when like it started to go over to his mouth, and you could see the mouth looked super fake. Like,
like
I could see it around
part
his
of
nose.
it. Yeah. You could definitely see it, but like still, like just like think about that setup for that prop. So you have to put the bees in his head, and then you gotta, I guess, shake the head or something, and then because they got it like. You got I don't know. It's just such a weird fucking gimmick to set up. So funny.
What happens if the bees didn't come out?
Yeah. Like how do you make
I would think they'd come out if they're trapped in a thing. And
that's what
you cut a hole. A couple of them will start to crawl out. Because I think if you shake it, they'll come out fucking pissed and start.
You might
people.
Yeah, Gary and Larry are not going to be happy.
Yeah.
Rick's fine with it, but Steve's
Rick's
not.
fine.
Yeah.
No, Gary and Larry are they're troublemakers, so they're obviously going to be gunning for you.
Yeah.
And you can't fuck with Beyonce.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
There
I
we
was
go.
up here.
There
I was
it
up
is.
here.
Now
I'm
way
down
up
here.
there, dude.
But Justin, that's not fair to Beyonce, bro.
I'm not putting bees in my mouth.
No,
you know?
fuck no.
I don't
Fuck
even
no.
even if they are young newborn bees. I don't know if
safety
I
bees.
Safety bees. I'm not putting. I don't know.
You just see all the bees come out and they got little tiny orange things on each of their stingers.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be down for that. Depends on how much money he got paid.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
he
he
could be
got
the
like
star of a
30
horror
grand.
franchise, getting some good money. Probably willing
Yeah.
to do it.
I don't know. I don't think I could. It's probably one of the reasons. Well, there's a million and one reasons why I wouldn't be an actor, or couldn't be an actor. But yeah, I don't think I would do that.
But the main one is the bee thing.
Yeah, main top within the top three.
Like that's definitely one of the main reasons. As if all actors at some point have to put bees in their mouth.
Yeah,
You don't know. You haven't gotten to that point yet. That's part of the SAG-AFTRA.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. You've always got to play the love interest at least once. You've got to die in a movie early, and you got to put bees in your mouth at some point.
Yeah. God damn it! I knew this was going to happen sooner. Or
Look,
later.
you could just come to the SAG offices and we could do it here. It doesn't have to be on film. You go into the bee room, you get some bees in your mouth. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just a nice, normal little Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm still not doing it. Not doing
That's
it.
why you're not getting into the union, bud.
No, I know. Fuckers.
Did anyone else find it funny in the second movie how it opens up with the author of the Candyman book is on a book tour, says Candyman 5 times, and obviously leads to his demise?
Right.
I was like, is that the first time this guy said Candyman 5 times? He just wrote what looks like a book of 300 pages.
Yeah.
He did, I don't know how many years of research of the book. Well, I don't know if that's his first date of the tour of the book. Maybe we could just assume it is.
I think there's a window, right? Like maybe he said Candyman 5 times in a 24-hour period, but it only counts if it's within like the first 3 hours.
And it has to be while looking in a mirror.
In a mirror. Yeah, he's just he doesn't look.
So
in a
he
mirror
looks in the reflection of his book.
But he's clearly,
which I've always been like, that's not a fucking mirror.
Yeah.
But he's clearly a big skeptic of that myth. Like I don't know. Just when that happens, it's like there's no way that's the first time he just did that.
Maybe he's done
begs the question.
I mean, especially if you had a dude post it up behind the screen to like cap it off. Like I'm going to say it 5 times, and then you come through the screen and do this. Like, was that their first time trying that? And it's like, oh shit.
Maybe it's because he hadn't done it in New Orleans yet, and that's the only reason that Candyman cared.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, maybe. You try that shit in Tulsa, you're fine.
Yeah,
you fucking cared in Chicago.
You try that shit in Tulsa, and Sylvester Stallone comes over. He's like, "Hey, you have a turn." I'm gonna sell weed.
I liked how many times before he looked into the reflection of his book and said Candyman, how many other times Candyman was said before and after that. Like before the title screen even came up, I was like, man, if this was a drinking game, I would be so fucked right now. Like, they just said it so many times.
It's Chekhov's Candyman.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever fucking played this thing where Bloody Mary?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Come on, we're all product of the 90s.
Yeah. I've never done it, dude.
Are we gonna
It's like I'm talking about cocaine.
Well, I'm sorry you've always had friends, Justin.
Yeah, I really did.
Trying to fucking get me a homie.
Yeah, no, I never had friends. But
I had an older brother, and I feel like who liked to scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, exactly. Your friends encourage you to go do that.
You
shit.
guys think I'm saying that I was peer pressured into doing it? No. I was trying to get Bloody Mary to come out and hang out with me.
I
just want to clarify because, like, yeah. I was not.
I wish I had somebody to talk to about this wrestling match I'm watching.
Yeah, right.
Before we had to conjure
how do you
somebody
feel?
from the mirror. Hey, wait a minute,
Mary. What do you feel about Undertaker?
He's pretty cool. You summoned me here for this shit?
And then she sees a tombstone pile driver, and she's like, "Fuck yeah!"
That's what made this movie so brilliant, is because of that lore, and it just kind of permeated. Yeah, especially as kids, like it just you knew about the movie before even watching it. Like you were familiar with what it was about, and it drew you in. It already scared you before even watching it. Yeah, and there's two movies that I distinctly remember scarring me as a kid, and Jaws is the one that I've talked about a bunch, and Candyman is the other one. There's those two that I watched, and there's one scene in particular in Candyman because I must have watched it when I was 6 or 7.
Yeah, same time.
And
me.
Same. And the scene where you don't even see it happen. They're just talking about it, and they showed newspaper clippings of the kid that got murdered in that public bathroom. Yeah. And I just remember that. And you hear like the camera flashes and you see the pictures of like blood and shit. I just remember being terrified of public bathrooms after that. Of just like, I'm going to get fucking hacked up and I can't go into a public bathroom. And
it's crazy because I had the exact same experience. I remember my mom renting it from Blockbuster and us watching it at our downstairs living room. And I was sitting on the couch the whole time and I'm like terrified. And of course, then I watch it now and I'm like, why'd you fucking let me watch this? It was 6. It was 6, man. 6. There was a lot of adult shit going on in that movie.
Yeah, my mom would have never let me watch that. It was my neighbor.
And then, but the
because she remembered the Sammy Davis Jr. song from Willy Wonka and was like, yeah, it's got to be, there it is. Yeah, definitely for kids.
But yeah, the public bathroom scene fucked me up. I still get freaked out going into public bathrooms.
Because of Candyman?
Maybe. I don't know.
Justin just has an irrational fear of glory holes.
You just get stage fright. I guess so. Strangers around you.
But either that or it's just because we've seen some really fucking bad public bathrooms, dude.
The real problem here is that Justin can't go into a bathroom unless somebody's holding a hook on him.
No, not that far. I've seen. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, it's for some reason, like this is such a stupid. I don't know, but like, like now I had to pause because now I'm getting ready to analyze the vulnerability of being in a public bathroom. And that's not what I expected to be talking about at 9:00 on a Tuesday. But I mean, it makes sense. It's a fucking weird place to fucking go, man. Especially like depending on where the bathroom is. Like,
especially in a neighborhood where there's a drug dealer who's a fake Candyman.
Yeah, well, that for sure. But I can distinctly think back on all of the road trips that we've done and the touring that we've done, and remember bathrooms that I've walked in, and I'm like, I need to get the fuck out of this bathroom for whatever reason, whether that's rest stops that are on the side of the fucking road on like traveling out west, or just going in venues and like going down a fucking dark hallway into a really fucking creepy bathroom.
I'm just picturing
it's just
Justin,
weird, man.
I'm just picturing Justin instead of Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber getting into the bathroom, reading the install door. Oh no! If comes in, fucking.
Pro tip: never. If anybody who's listening to this, if you're traveling through Maitland, Texas, never ever go into the 7-Eleven bathroom in Maitland, Texas.
The one.
That's
the one.
That's the one.
You know.
Yeah, man. I remember. I opened the door, took one step in, and I was like, no, I'm out. I'm fucking out. This is where I draw the fucking line. It was rough.
There's a similar bathroom in Barstow, I believe.
Oh yeah.
Anytime we drive to Vegas, we used to stop at the Circle K to get snacks, and the men's room, it always just like reminds me of the Silent Hill bathroom sequence with the dudes climbing along this shit on the walls. I would still just go in and pee, but it would be like genuinely worried. Yeah. And then they opened a much better place that's like 5 miles down. That's this big, just like corporate, super clean, crazy. And we just go there now, which is a lot nicer. But the Barstow bathrooms, yeah. Never did Candyman in the mirror there. Kind of maybe I should do that next time.
Maybe that's why
the perfect envilement.
Maybe that's why it never worked.
Just imagine some other trucker walking in, like, "What the fuck are you doing, man?" Like,
just
trying to see if Candyman is turned off by the fountain as I am.
He's like, he's a huge believer in it.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, what the fuck are you doing?
Why would you summon
fucking
him?
maniac?
My God, just let me shit first."
I got a rig. I gotta get to El Paso. Now I got this hooked motherfucker on my ass.
Stupid fucking kid just fucking called Candyman in here. Manager starts to come out. What the fuck? Not again.
What's all this honey doing in my cab?
I just cleaned this bathroom last month.
I still am hung up on them calling him Candyman. Like, I understand, like, you guys telling me that is why he's named that. Is, they put honey on him, and then the fucking asshole people are like, Candyman 5 times. But it's the, like, okay, that's the explanation. I understand the explanation. It's the leap from...
even in the fucking scene, I was like...
Yeah, it's forced.
And it's
you guys suck.
Especially because I was like, oh, they're going to say it 5 times? Oh, they said it 5 times. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's,
I guess.
I think James nailed it. The come up with the name and the story, and then now you got to work backwards to come up with a reason why he's named that.
And that makes it tough though, because I didn't realize that Clive Barker like wrote most of it already. Yeah. So that kind of takes away from that, but also like maybe but that's what Clive Barker probably did. Yeah, he's probably like, I'm gonna write a book about a slasher.
Well, I think that's also it's the issue that I have with a lot of movies that tend to over-explain things that don't need to be over-explained, and that's where the second one lost me at moments like that. Which that's
dig. Where it wins me, because I want to know why he's like that.
Well, I do dig some of the background that they do get into. Like I thought they did a good job of, but I mean, there's areas of it, and again, we've been harping on it, and it's one that we all agree that was pretty cheesy. It was that scene wasn't really necessary, and again, for me, the lack of explanation of his name, but just drawing the conclusion of like he's sweet, they covered him in fucking honey, like you could just better
leave
than
it
Honey Man. They didn't need to explain it.
Yeah,
from what I'm reading
Josh
online,
is Googling right now. There's gonna be something better. Let's hear it.
Apparently, in the book, The Forbidden, the character's name is just Granville Candyman. Like, that's his last name.
God damn it, Clive.
Whoops.
What?
I don't
Candyman.
know.
Is that the original is
in the Clive Barker story? Yeah.
Okay.
So
damn it.
Yeah, where's it at? Books of Blood.
His name was just Candyman?
Candyman. That's what when I'm
Jewish
reading
guy. That's what it is.
Hey, I'm Candyman.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because this is the same one that had the Midnight Meat Train. They were going to do a Candyman sequel based on that book next. That was the other idea they had.
Wait, so does that technically mean that Midnight Meat Train and Candyman are in the same universe?
I think so, yeah. Because it says the Bradley Cooper Vinnie Jones book greatly expands the book in a number of ways. But it is still inspired by the story. Yeah.
Midnight Meat Train is so
we need to
it's so good for a movie that only works by itself.
Yeah.
I don't want to see anything.
So I would
really?
Okay.
I don't think I barely remember it. I feel like I've watched it, but I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, we should add that in sometime soon. I haven't watched it since James, you and I watched it.
Oh, really?
It's been a fucking long time. But yeah, that was
don't watch it while you have food poisoning. I learned that one.
Yeah. But yeah, Vinnie Jones. I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's so intense.
And it's, again, I was just watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre episode that just went up, and again, I'm so glad that he got that role. I'm so glad that he got a chance to be a fucked up guy, like Vinnie Jones.
Oh yeah.
Just to have
Did we mention him in the TCM episode?
No. It was Arlie Army.
Oh, it's the same concept.
Yeah, same concept.
Yeah.
Like he's so intimidating. He needed to be some sort of killer guy.
Yeah, he
at
needs
some
to.
point.
Yeah, exactly. Like he works as a goon,
Yeah.
character, but he's got more range than that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that
he
was
can
that was definitely a
also
good one.
play a serial killer.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
So
the goon
okay,
that
hold
kills
on.
people.
So his name was in the book was what?
So I have no idea
Let's go
what I'm reading now, because it's everything else I'm looking at online has nothing to do with that will not name. I don't know if he even had a name in the book. When they asked Tony Todd about it, when it came to developing the character, that's what fucking where did it go? I've gone down quite a rabbit hole here.
Wait, what the fuck? Okay.
But what I read was in the development, it said concept and creation. Granville T. Candyman was the scion of a rich black family in 1870s Chicago. Having gained fame for his portraits and music, he's commissioned to paint Helen, the ravishing daughter of a wealthy landowner. He has her pose in the nude as Venus, and her shock soon turns into love, and this forbidden interracial affair brings the city's wrath down on Granville. Cutting his right painting hand off with a rusty blade, the lynch mob covers his body with honey, cheering as he's stung to death by bees. That's how Tony Todd outlined the backstory. Bernard Rose gave him and Virginia free rein to flesh out their characters' backstories as part of the creative process.
That's cool.
And said, the Candyman is not black in Clive's story. In fact, the whole backstory of the interracial love affair that went wrong isn't in the book. Everything that's in the book is in the film, but it's just been amplified. So Todd came up with the character's backstory during rehearsals with Madsen and called his character Granville T. Candyman, who has a forbidden love affair with a white woman, but the name Granville is never used, and the character's name is ultimately changed to Daniel Robitaille. So I don't know if the book actually has an explanation behind his name being Candyman either. I think it's just a short story of this woman studying an urban legend about a man named Candyman, but he doesn't, there's no backstory to him. He's just a creepy dude with a hook that kills you if you say his name 5 times in the mirror.
Which is
I gotta read the Forbidden
dick
now.
move.
Yeah, I have to say they definitely. I'm assuming
if you say my name 4 times and I still haven't appeared, I obviously don't want to be bothered.
Right?
So.
Yeah, dude.
Well,
But
I mean, you know what? That
really
just changed my mind because, like, I don't want to be bothered. And now we're on the 5th time of you calling me?
Hold on. That's why he shows up and kills motherfuckers.
Yeah,
exactly. He's trying to watch his shows.
Yeah, bro.
And people won't stop calling him.
5th time?
A 5th time? Yeah. Like somebody calls me and then I don't answer and they call me again. I'm already just lit.
Yeah.
So 5 times
that's
that,
like you might as well text me and say call me, and then I'm like, no, now you're getting blocked.
That's just as bad.
Or a hook in your spine.
Right. Like that's just as bad as when you're texting somebody and then you call them and they don't answer.
Oh my god!
And you're like,
Jesus Christ!
I know
Candyman
you're there.
blocked me.
I know you're there.
Yeah.
Okay,
you're sending me TikTok still. What is this?
So now it's just this whole episode is just going to spiral off into trying to find the origins of this guy's name.
Which might end up getting answered next episode when we watch the third one.
Maybe either that
or we just read the short story between now and next week. It's not even a full book. We can do it.
But I still can't help but feel like somewhere out there somebody's listening to this and they're like, no, it's because of this detail that you missed, you fucking idiots.
Oh, yeah.
And now my anxiety is skyrocketed.
But that's why you do that, so that they'll comment on
Yeah.
the video.
No, I know.
And my engagement will go up. Because there's some guy almost like, all 4 of these motherfuckers claim they watched both of these movies. None of them know why he's called Candyman.
Every single minute.
Every minute. Don't remember. Okay, anyway. So I Googled, why is he called Candyman in the movie? And automatically there's 2, from what I can see, don't even have to scroll down my full screen, and there's 2 different versions. There's 2 different answers.
Yeah, it's because Google relies on dog shit AI now. So it's, it's probably
one
adapting
of
an answer
which-
based on what it heard Derek say 10 minutes ago.
Which is accurate. No need to harp on this for 20 minutes. It's just that's what it is. It's funny.
So one of the Google AI overview says the Candyman part of the name is a twisted reference to the fact that he was a candy salesman before his violent death. I don't remember anything
Stop.
about that.
Hold on. That's bullshit. Because like
False.
the version that Tony Todd says makes so much
They're
sense.
talking about the song in the Willy Wonka movie.
Yeah, and also
Candyman.
like the fact that he has that's not even in the movie, the detail of like his painting hand gets cut off. That tells me that like he came up with that fucking backstory, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would.
You know what I mean? Like, because that makes so much more sense. Like, why does he have a hook? Why did they cut off that hand only?
Right. Okay, so now here's the second one, and this is somebody on ScreenRant.com saying that name being Candyman is because the one reoccurring detail in every encounter witnesses have ever had with him is that he smells like candy floss, more commonly known as cotton candy.
I've never heard that. Never heard
Never
that.
heard
in
that
either of
either.
these fucking movies.
That all of this will come up in the third one.
Yeah,
I
all
hope.
of it. All of
I
it.
mean,
has
there's
to.
got to be.
It's
Maybe
a
that's
cross
what
between Killer Clowns.
That's
and
another
Candyman.
thing with the second one.
There's just fucking cotton candy everywhere.
It felt like they had the first movie was so good. They're like, we need to do a sequel on this, so they did work backwards a lot. Where it was like, let's establish more lore. Let's come up with this, and it was some of it worked, but some of it didn't. I feel like a lot of the sequel came off a little extra cheesy to me.
See, that's
Bill
why I think
Condon
it's better.
Dude, 3 years ago, people on Reddit asking the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And then one guy's like, I guess the original, he was killed after being covered in honey. Something else about something with
username
Dave
Derek?
and Kid. No. Nah, I don't even know how to pronounce that one. But then, this guy asking, like, why is this guy called Candyman? The first response, because he was covered in honey. So I think that's
It's because
I think that's what it is.
It's because he leaves Werther's originals at all the murder scenes.
God damn it.
That's despicable.
Have you guys not seen the requel?
No.
It's
Wait,
not
really?
Werther's
I thought that was a
originals,
joke.
but the reboot, like requel,
Yeah.
explores
Yeah.
the lore behind like multiple Candyman like myths, and one of them is that he handed out candy to kids.
I thought that was only.
Yeah.
I thought there was only one myth.
No, but we'll touch on that next week.
Oh, you're dropping hints. Gotcha.
Yes, like little wrapped
See, like,
candies.
it's just. I guess like I'm.
Wait. Has
Let's
Josh
move on from this.
But that's hold on. I have an important question. Question. Has Josh now hooked you in for the requel?
Oh,
Jesus. No, I'm down.
Why can't we just end it right there?
Right,
I
know. Yeah. But no, like, because I guess I'm so used to, the first thing that I think of, which I don't know why this is the first thing I think of when I think of other movies with similar titles, is Clint Howard. I think that's his name. Yeah, Clint Howard and Ice Cream Man.
Yeah.
And he's called Ice Cream Man because the fucker
He's
was
an
an
ice cream man. Yeah.
So it's just bam on the
Doctor
fucking nose.
Dr. Giggles is a doctor because he's a dentist.
And he laughs a lot.
And he gets
Leatherface is a leatherface because he wears a leather face.
No, that's human flesh. That's not leather. That's
It turns
that's
leather
always
eventually.
bothered me.
It turns leather eventually. He works out in the sun a lot. It gets tanned.
But I think the requel probably does that, where they're like, why do they call him the Candyman? They're like, let's explore that. Let's come up with some reasons behind that.
Right.
Because the original story had not a whole lot to go off of, and so this is how they kind of like spin it out. But it's great. I'm excited to talk to you guys about that.
Gotcha.
Next week. But for now, I thought the New Orleans backdrop was dope.
Yes.
I would also
that a
like
lot.
to say that I don't know if any of you have seen The Big Easy with Dennis Quaid.
No.
Okay.
No.
It was a 80. Fuck, I just saw it.
86.
86. So it's an 86 like noir movie.
Ooh.
It's pretty good, and it's all based in New Orleans, obviously the Big Easy. And this movie reminds me like vibe wise of Big Easy, which is impressive because it's a specifically New Orleans in the 90s vibe, and like it's just not really there's not a whole lot of movies that explore that in any way for the most part. So I really dug that. It's also, I'm almost certain that this is the first movie of the Candyman series that I saw as a kid. And it's also, if that's the case, it's probably why I grew an obsession with New Orleans and Mardi Gras and stuff, because there's so much good, like, Mardi Gras footage and shit in this, and like there's one shot of all these like people in like skull masks and shit that I forgot about those shitty plastic skull masks with the hologram eyes that were in the 90s. Man, those were great.
Yeah, those were dope.
But yeah, so much good New Orleans, like not really any voodoo stuff, which is kind of surprising, but like sort of.
Yeah, I think I expected more of that when I had read the synopsis.
But also, I'm kind of glad that there isn't, because he's not a voodoo guy.
No, yeah.
Yeah, it does seem like it would have been an easy, like, low-hanging fruit kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead, he's a honey guy.
Yeah. I like that the dickhead police officer who gets mangled has the same last name as me, apparently. I don't think they say it much in the movie, but when I pulled up
it once,
IMDb and like to cover the synopsis, I was like, his name's Ray Levesque. Like, fucking.
I mean, that makes sense for New Orleans, though, right?
Yeah, no, it does.
Yeah. That's a solid last name, dude.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, good I worked really hard for it.
Yeah.
It's a good last name. You know what I mean? It's just got a vibe to
it.
I got a kick out of Robitaille.
Robitaille,
hockey player, Luke Robitaille.
Oh, see, whenever I heard Robitaille, it's not the exact same thing, but I keep thinking of Midnight Roboto.
From
Hateful,
not Hateful Eight.
Magnificent Seven. Yeah.
I
knew it was a word and a number.
That was fun to witness.
Yeah, going down the same fucking path. Yeah,
and we finish each other's sentences.
Right,
and we finish each other's cake.
Cake sounds so good right now.
Agreed.
But yeah, that's a solid last name. Sorry, detour.
So what I did not like in the second was that fucking DJ guy that's like narrating.
Oh, really? I loved him.
Now and again.
I loved him. I loved him. It gave me such a like Vanishing Point Super Soul vibe that I was like, this is fun.
Oh, yeah.
It was weird to me when they finally like show him at the parade. I was like, that guy? That's the guy? Okay, that's the guy, I guess. I like also that he's behind like a protective glass.
Right.
Yeah, the reveal of him was a little weird.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted him to just never be revealed. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, just a disembodied voice.
Yeah.
That would have been even more weird.
Who the
fuck is this guy?
He's the radio guy.
Yeah, he's just a radio guy.
Yeah.
The stuff that they say on the
How many radio guys have you seen their faces?
Yeah.
None
of them, really. People on the radio just say weird shit. All the time.
They fucking do.
Fucking really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they know you can't see their face. They're just hiding behind a microphone.
Yeah, they can't see my reaction going, what the fuck are you talking about? So the first movie, I understand like he's doing all of this stuff and she's, going like losing her mind and everything. But there isn't any part of this, and again, watched all of it, so hopefully I'm not putting my foot in my mouth. None, like all of that happened in real like time, right?
Yes.
Like he's not necessarily controlling reality to the point where he's manipulating reality.
I don't think
what she's going through is not. It is real.
Yeah,
that's what I think. I think it only works if it's like that. Because if he's manipulating reality and stuff, then it's like, then she's crazy,
right? So
and it's like I think it. I mean, I think it's an interesting case study because I think that's what that movie would have turned into in any other situation.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I guess just because the 90s were more like they'll go for something weird. Like, it's just a dude that actually.
Because I felt, like especially once she escapes the mental hospital and she goes home to find fucking Trevor. Now in a relationship with a student.
All the husbands, I have hated every husband so far in these movies.
Oh yeah. I think that's just like default mode at this point.
Kind of, yeah.
Most,
I mean, we just did the Paranormal Activity franchise, and then we did, men ain't shit.
It's like if they.
Again.
I guess
that's
it
been
doesn't.
The case always.
I guess,
watch sitcoms. They always make dudes look like fucking idiots.
I guess that is one of the things that, and I think we do see it a little bit more being like tackled a little more, where like now some horror movies, like you'll have a husband who's actually like, okay, I believe you. But like, most of these don't work if the husband believes you, because then you're like,
no,
okay, so there's a Candyman, let's fight him. Like, let's figure it out.
Yeah. Movie's 15-20 minutes long. But yeah,
why is he called Candyman?
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta
don't
Google
know.
this.
Here's the funniest thing.
Sense, babe, honey. No.
Here's the funniest fucking thing.
I don't get it.
The only thing, and maybe they do this in 3, I kind of doubt it, but the only thing that nobody does in these movies is go, I just don't believe in him.
Yeah.
Because, isn't that the whole point, is that he's trying to make everybody believe in him?
Yeah.
So then if you could just stifle the fucking myth.
Well, I guess that's with all.
What does he do? Does he just fade like Back to the Future photographs?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just his fucking hook starts going...
just disappears.
But yeah, I had a thought of whenever she escapes the mental hospital, goes home, finds Trevor, in a new relationship, and they're painting the fucking apartment. It's been like a day.
Yeah.
He
moved on quick,
super fast. But I kept thinking, like, okay, is this because they did that back in the 90s. They've done I've watched movies where it's like the character gets through all of it, and then at the end everything is back to normal.
Yeah.
And I was waiting I've seen this movie before, but it's been ages, so I didn't remember a lot of the finer details. But that's what I kept thinking of. Like, once it got to that last, like, 3/4 of the movie, I'm like, is this all real? Is this all just, is he manipulating time and manipulating reality? And then when she defeats him, it'll all go back to normal. But no, she loses her hair and gets burnt all the fuck.
That part's fucked. Like,
brutal.
The whole, like, that's my favorite part of the movie is the end where she's fucking climbing into a burning fire.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
Fucking wild.
That's rough.
It's a crazy scene.
Also, like, I the way that she just wakes up on a bathroom floor covered in blood.
Yeah.
That scene.
Like, the way they kick into all of it, like, taking off, is so fucked up.
Yeah.
Although,
Also,
like,
the fucking scene where she they don't actually technically show it, but like, just the concept of her killing that mom and the kid, like, that's so fucked.
Yeah.
Like, that feels extreme for that movie.
Yeah. That raises a good point. Like, okay, I know the dude got his hand cut off, and I'm sure that made him mad. But I mean, I think it would make anybody mad.
I get that you've had a hard day.
You've had a really hard day, but this is going a little too far.
Here's the thing that you just made me think about. The first movie makes so much less sense than the second movie. I guess maybe if you look at it like he's specifically fucking with the white lady, but like,
well, he's trying to reclaim he's trying to reclaim this, like, lost love. Like, that's the whole underlying story, right?
Right, for sure, understandable. But in the first movie, it's more about him, like, maintaining the myth so that he survives as an entity, because that's definitely how that played off. But like, so you kill an entire housing project, essentially? Like, that's...
Yeah, dude.
That's your vengeance?
Yeah. I mean, well, it keeps him...
feels misplaced.
Well, I mean, yeah. That's what I was saying, is, like, calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
Like...
Go after the white people.
But then you wouldn't have a movie. But
I mean, the second one, he goes after the white people, and I think it works a lot better.
Yeah. But, yeah, I guess it's... it's a weird one.
Well, the first one, because trying to figure out how I want to phrase this or how I would like explain it. Because maybe he's just trying to, like Derek said, he's trying to reclaim his lost love.
He's trying to,
it's a love story.
Right.
And so he's like, maybe that's why he's just like, come with me, because clearly nobody here is going to have you after what you've done.
Right. But it is kind of silly. I feel like I'm shitting all over this movie, and like, it's a fun movie. I don't hate it, but it is kind of funny to think about.
When we started, so
it is kind of funny to think about, like, being like, okay, you're Candyman for a second, right? And you're like, fuck, I gotta keep my myth going.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, nobody can forget me. Meanwhile, you have people publishing books on you, and like this chick is like doing her whole graduate thesis on you. Like,
okay,
I feel like you've cemented your lore.
The book is the second. There's not a book written about him in the first one.
Yeah,
right?
but
Okay.
the dude had to.
So
my
my argument would be that yes, she's working on the thesis, but until the thesis gets put out, no one's gonna read about him.
Yeah.
So he's like, that's gonna be too long. I gotta have her start killing people.
Yeah, that's a good point. What a weird thing to be an expert in.
Yeah.
Urban horror.
Just that one. Yeah, the dude with the long hair, the author from the second one. He just got he just got so fucking aggro.
Well, if you think about it, if that were like
that's what you're gonna write. In the sequel, I'm gonna write a book.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Sorry. What? Go ahead, Derek. What?
No, I was gonna say, if you think about it, I mean, it's like her doing a thesis on it is pretty dope. Of just like,
yeah,
all right, there's these. She has an interest in urban horror myths, and then goes to the Cabrini Green?
Yeah,
is that what it's called? Cabrini Green
it's
Projects.
Such a good name.
Yeah.
And she's like boots on the ground, researching, and obviously the lore there is strong, and people claim to have witnessed it. You do have deaths, but also a lot of gang violence, which kind of crazy. Those were actual real gang members.
Oh, really?
Set.
Oh, really?
Oh, fuck! I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. So
that's wild.
Those exterior shots, hallway shots, stairway shots throughout that project, there were 5 active gangs that were in that area.
Damn.
And to shoot that, they actually paid a lot of the gang members or some of the gang members to allow them to shoot and essentially keep them safe.
Oh, wow.
And they're actually in the movie, like they're in some of these scenes. And but they also had snipers, like police snipers that were watching over in case like nothing got too fucked up with the gang members.
That's crazy.
Where'd they film this again? Chicago.
Yeah, like that was an actual project.
Yeah.
Like, that was a real fucking ghetto that they were shooting in.
Wow.
At least those scenes. Yeah.
Is it weird that I feel a little safer about the gang members than the snipers?
No, that's totally valid.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, so it's Tony Todd was talking about it in the interview that I watched, and it's just like
crazy.
Like it was fucking nuts. Like it's a crazy environment to be making a movie in.
Yeah. That has to be part of where the weird vibe for that movie comes from. It's just just capturing a weird tension that no one else knows about.
For sure, yeah. But God, Tony Todd's he was awesome.
Yeah.
And we should mention because
100%.
As we're
that's
shooting
why we're
this,
doing this, right? Like
it hasn't even been a month that he passed. But he's just his presence in this movie, and both of them are it's just so like fucking strong. Like this power in his voice is so fucking perfect for the role.
Yeah,
even Night of the Living Dead, right? Like fucking dude, he's just he just comes off of the screen in anything that he's in.
I've seen the movie with Nicolas Cage, The Rock, a million times.
Right.
Yeah. Completely forgot that was Tony Todd, or never even realized it was Tony Todd. Even to this day, I send clips of Tony Todd from that movie when someone owes me money. Like I'll send them like a Venmo link, and then the clip of him saying, "I want my fucking money." It's just there's like a 3-second clip on YouTube of him saying that.
Awesome.
Dude, he's so good in The Rock. With Ed Harris, stand down, Captain. So Tony Todd was the man.
Oh yeah,
absolutely the best, man.
Yeah.
Now I want to watch.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Rest in fucking
absolutely.
peace, man.
God, this guy's been in 319 credits.
Good fuck.
Yeah.
God.
That is nuts.
He was in a bunch of TV shows.
You know what? Perfect segue, because I just want to bring up, everybody needs to go watch Holliston, the Adam Green show.
Oh yeah.
Because he's got an episode on that is fucking so over the top and hilarious. he like
episode on what?
On Holliston, this show that Adam Green
okay.
did. But there's an episode where because the show is about Adam Green and Joe
Lynch.
Joe Lynch, and they're like roommates, and they're both like not established directors. They're trying to make their first horror movie. It's very fucking funny. Odorous Urungus is his imaginary friend, lives in his closet. And then in one of the episodes, Tony Todd comes, and he's the worst fucking house guest you've ever fucking seen, and so fucking
I think
funny.
they put the episode for free online after Tony passed because they were like,
awesome.
you guys need to watch this because
so...
they just said he was an absolute gem to work with.
Yeah,
which I'm not
like,
shocked. Like anyone who's ever met him said he was one of the kindest people on earth.
He's so good at being a gigantic shithead, like the worst person I've ever seen on film, that I was like, is he acting or is he actually a terrible person? Because like, damn.
No, yeah, he's just that good.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was in Final Destination.
Final Destination, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So the new Final Destination, I think, is going to be his last official credit because he's in the new one that's coming out later this year.
I saw something today. I read that he has 8 films still in post production now at the time of his death.
Holy shit!
Or I don't know if they're all films, but 8 projects that are in post production right now.
Wow,
dude, that dude was fucking hustling.
Yeah, dude never stopped working.
He was in Hatchet too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn,
I never saw Hatchet.
The first one's I
one's
really
great.
like the first one.
Yeah,
I can't remember which one it was, but the one with the airplane and Felissa Rose.
I think that's the newest one.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
I feel like I watched the first Hatchet with friends while we were drinking and doing other stuff, so I barely remember it, and I never saw any of the sequels, but I've been meaning to check them out again.
The first one's really good, and then I think it's the second one where it's either the second or third one where like there's like no blood. But like he's like
that's dumb,
straight up like pulling guts out of somebody, but there's no blood effects, and I was like, this is weird.
A weird choice.
Yeah,
it is weird.
It's stupid.
You just made me think of something I read earlier that I thought was really cool. I don't know if this is in both movies. I think I read it about the first movie, so it might be across the whole, all the movies. That Candyman throughout, again, I don't know which one, but he doesn't have audio for his footsteps. So there's no sound, there's no Foley for his footsteps.
Yeah, he mutes it.
And yeah. Well, apparently it just gives him this weird fucking,
damn, that's cool
feeling, I guess, while he's on screen and moving around.
That makes so much sense. Like,
yeah,
Foley is insane. What the lack or addition of can do.
Yeah.
Well, then especially there where like you're removing it, and I didn't notice it, but he certainly, there's a presence. It's him, but there's also little things like that maybe subconsciously you don't even pick up on, but it makes him feel that much more fucking sketchy.
Dude, there's one shot in the second one at the very end where he's literally like standing on the rushing river, and I was like, that's fucking incredible, because he's just like standing like, and the river's just under him, and so he's just standing on water, and I was amazing. Tony Todd,
and then they broke the mirror, and we got one of the absolute worst shots in the.
So,
what do you mean? I loved him fucking shattering. That was so good.
That was very N64 of them.
My favorite part of it is okay. I'll give you the CG's not that great. However, I do love that it goes from the CG to them just throwing handfuls of fucking like glass at him.
Yeah. It's funny because
so
Katie was next to me while I was watching it, and she was reading a book. And as that happened, I didn't realize she was watching. So like she like had her head up from her book. She goes, "Those effects are bad, huh?" And I just like, went back to her book. I was like, yeah.
Like, everything up until now was pretty good, babe. You just weren't.
yeah. Of course, you got to come in at that spot.
That whole fucking building looked sick inside of it. Like they did such a good job with that fucking that like shack shit. But man, it looked fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the set building in both of these movies are fucking
perfect.
awesome. Like the shrine of
also,
him is so fucking cool.
Yeah,
the gigantic face in the first one is incredible.
As a kid, like that stuck with me. I don't know why that creeped me out as a kid so much, but it fucking terrified me.
Yeah, it was so iconic that it stuck in my head, and I'm pretty sure I hadn't seen the movie.
Yeah, like it's weird.
I remember it being in like the back of comic books, and like there was a lot of comic book advertising for both of the first movie and the second movie.
Well, nice. I think it was in the trailer too, so I'm sure
you
stuck out.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of stuff in the 90s where those sets just felt different than they do now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't have the same vibe. But yeah, the vibe on both of those movies they make half the movie to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sick.
Agreed. Vibes.
Yeah, vibes. All kinds of vibes.
Creep-O-Rama. We watched every second of these vibes.
Somebody going back to Tony Todd's voice, top like comment on Letterboxd is just Tony Todd's voice is the eighth wonder of the world.
It's true.
Agreed.
Dude.
Yeah. Can't argue with it.
What's crazy is he's done so many voices. I guess I've only seen a couple of things where he played a voice of like a major character for a good chunk of it, but it's still, he always adds his own little twist to it where each one you can tell that's definitely Tony Todd, but it's not just like, oh, Tony Todd's speaking in a sound booth again and they attach it to another character. It's like Tony Todd is doing Venom in the Spider-Man game. And then Tony Todd, I was a CW like Arrowverse nerd, so the Flash TV show, I watched every episode and I fucking loved it. And he played Zoom, or he's the voice of Zoom for an entire season. And I was like, this is incredible. Like, it's so good. And and that's just his voice in the show. You want to have all of Tony Todd if you can get it, obviously, because his presence is incredible. But yeah, his voice is something else.
Yeah, it is. It really
is. Yeah, I mean, just him fucking saying any fucking the bass and the rasp was just
we were at Silver Scream Con last year in Massachusetts and he did a panel and it was just him and the host Ryan talking, and it was like Tony would go off on tangents talking about his kids, talking about cooking, talking about everything, and we were like, everyone in that audience was just like, just whatever you want to talk about, man. Like, you just keep going. And it was just hypnotizing because you could tell he was like, it was shit he was passionate about. So when someone's like really excited to share something with you, but his voice combined with just his genuine like generosity was insane.
Never stop talking to me,
awesome.
Candy Daddy.
That's a different movie.
That's the name of this episode now, I think.
It's a different genre.
Yeah, totally different genre.
Yeah.
It's a kid's movie
somewhere.
It's a kid's movie. What are you fucking talking about? It's a Candy Daddy. He's just a candy guy he just works at a candy shop.
No, you're thinking of King Candy from was Wreck-It Ralph.
So what is what's the Rotten Tomato scores on these?
The first one you got 79% tomato meter, 63% audience score.
That makes sense.
It seems low for the first one.
It does seem a little low,
Yeah.
Letterboxd I want to say was 3.
Letterboxd seemed high.
3.6.
Feels high to me.
And then
James
the second one, you have a 21% tomato meter and a 30% audience score and a 2.6 on Letterboxd.
I'm gonna have
to.
the
second one's been like revisited enough times, and people are starting to find things to like about it. But the second one was torn to shreds when it first came out. I think
that's
crazy. Which I don't entirely understand because, like, okay, I get it. Like, there's issues with it for sure. But, like, I don't know, man. Like, what do you want? Like, what do you really like? It's a far more interesting, like, as far as the story of like what's going on and like why he's killing these people, because like there's an actual reason this time, and like which is funny that it took a second movie for him to have a fucking reason to kill people.
Well, he has a reason in the first one.
But it's not like
they just elaborate on it. Yeah. It's really, I feel like the second movie is the same movie. They just elaborate more. They just go deeper.
He's getting revenge on the family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
Which
in the
that
first
they
one,
don't.
That's what I'm saying. Is like that part of it is
yeah.
what's like makes the second one more interesting as a movie to me.
Right.
In the first one, it's just like I'm gonna fucking fuck with this white lady, and I'm like, all right, cool, fine, that's a movie.
Well, she discredited his legacy or whatever by blaming the other guy for what he had done.
She did have it coming in this one, but like. The second one, I don't know. I like all the like messy family shit. And like, it also never feels like it drags, but it also never to me felt like it was too quick. See, I think that the first one's too slow where like, you're really padding these scenes out a little bit where like, I don't know, more stuff could have happened. But
I think the first one played more as like this, like you do, it was slow because it was more of like just a gothic love story with like more artistic like tilt to it. And the second one, they tried to ramp up the gore and make it a little bit more of a slasher type story and try to add more to it. I don't think Bill Condon's a great director. I don't think he was.
He directed Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 1 and 2.
Yeah, he did, and the live action Beauty and the Beast. And
he's got some real hitters.
Yeah, he's got the sauce when he needs it. But he didn't yet when he did Candyman 2, I don't think. And there's just like there's so many cheap jump scares in the first half of this movie where it's like somebody places a hand on someone else's shoulder and you're and like,
the weird sound effects were
like that kind of stuff at the beginning was a little annoying. Where I'm like, this isn't they didn't do this in the first movie, so I feel like. Anytime a sequel to a movie that was received as well as the first one was, there was no way the sequel was going to get the kind of like love and adoration when it first came out. And then people can revisit it now and be like, okay, as a completely different film, it's fun, it's good, it's got its qualities.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone's going to compare it to the original Candyman.
That and it was, it's 1995. Everything felt like that in 1995. Like going back to the Leprechaun movies. All the Leprechaun movies in the mid 90s were just there was so much horror coming out in that time period of especially
it's
like
a weird
94.
comparison because I don't think the first Leprechaun was seen as good as the
No. I mean like
the first one was this masterpiece of modern filmmaking with Jennifer Aniston.
They compare like apples to fucking lobster
Leprechaun movies.
I wouldn't say that. No, I meant like in the approach of just filmmaking. We got to make these movies. It's like they just did everything, and it really was just all. Like nobody really had any. They just did it.
Yeah.
There was so much. There was so many different ways to make money that they just kept making movies. So like it makes sense as to why they even did a sequel to it. But it also makes sense as to why that sequel is done in the way that it is, in the way that it is, to where it feels more like a straightforward slasher-ish, supernatural slasher, because the mid 90s, like it was just so much because that was the vast majority of horror films coming out around then. It was just
weird.
Any idea that anybody had, they made a movie for.
And what's so weird to me is the first movie is exactly what everybody always complains about, and yet they love it. And the second movie is exactly what everybody always says they want from a fucking slasher movie, and they get it and they hate it.
Right.
Explain. What do you mean?
I think that everybody always complains about horror movies being too fucking slow and not having any fucking purpose. And the first one is both of those things and doesn't focus on the actual shit that it's supposed to be about. And then the second one is exactly what you fucking like, exactly what everybody would clamor for from a horror movie. Like, you get more Candyman, you get more kills, you get more story, you get more of all of it, and everybody hates it. And I'm like, why? Like, I don't see why it's a not good movie.
I don't know if anyone hates the second one. I don't hate it.
I
I
don't
hate it either.
think the
no, not
execution
us,
could have been
not
better.
us. But I mean, like in general, like the general vibe towards the second one is like, fuck it, it's not as good as the first one.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I don't know.
I'm very curious to see the third one because it's now
I
they go
am
to
too.
LA, I think, right?
That's what I'm most
Does it take place in
interested
LA?
I think so.
Really weird.
They keep jumping around the country.
I will say after
Country Hit Radio
No.
on Amazon Music.
Fuck up, Alexa.
Sorry for
I will
interrupting your
not.
podcast.
Yeah, we can go and edit that out if you want, or leave it. I don't. She has no business. Alexa, stop. Christ.
I will say,
just gotta unplug her.
The best double feature I've done in a long time is watching the first Candyman and then immediately watching Judgment Night afterwards.
Oh,
yeah,
that does sound like a fun one.
Judgment Night.
Nice.
I forget how good that fucking movie is and how fucking terrifying Dennis Leary is as a bad guy.
Yeah,
that movie is fucking crazy. That movie has such a crazy cast.
I don't know if I've actually seen that one in its entirety. I feel like I barely remember it.
Dude, it's so good. It's a really good, like, I'm not gonna like spoil it, but like it's fucking
on Tubi.
It is on Tubi, yeah. Cuba Gooding Jr.,
Jeremy
Piven, Emilio Estevez, I think Stephen Dorff's in that one too.
Oh shit,
yeah. The cast on that is stacked.
Yeah,
Everlast
is in it. I'm not entirely sure who he was in it though. I think he's just a very short part. But also one of the best fucking like weird concepts for a soundtrack album ever, where they were like, let's get a whole bunch of metal bands and a whole bunch of like actual hip hop groups and have them all do fucking collaboration songs and like fuck it.
I forgot about that.
Oh yeah, I think that's what I knew most about it.
Yeah.
I remember that soundtrack.
Yeah, it's just a really good like holy shit fucked up like quest through a fucked up area.
Yeah. So what I mean, man, the 90s were there's so many movies from that era.
Yeah.
Like I know the 80s had a shit ton of movies, but when you really look at the sheer volume of film that was being made in the 90s, it's fucking unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
That's good.
Honestly, speaking of, since we're talking about Candyman, which has a fucking bathroom mirror hole in the wall that you have to crawl in through, I would like to say that we should do a Judgment Night and the Siege double feature episode soon, because I'm pretty sure that Candyman got the crawling through the wall thing from the Siege.
When did the Siege come out?
It was like the 70s. It's some Canadian independent fucking like.
Gotcha.
It was pretty good.
I'm sure people crawled out of walls before.
It's specifically
never before the Siege.
It's specifically a medicine cabinet, though.
Oh,
like it's specifically the exact same thing. Yeah.
There's IP infringement all
over the place. It's almost like nobody in Hollywood. Never mind.
I did see something pretty weird about that. I'll read it here. I just found it
medicine
again.
Cabinets.
Yeah, it was while investigating one of Candyman's crime scenes, Helen and Bernadette discover that design of the apartment's medicine cabinet made it a possible point of entry for an intruder. This was not a made-up piece of horror movie fiction. While researching the film, Bernard Rose learned that a series of murders had been committed in Chicago this very way.
Oh,
yeah.
I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Now that you said that, yeah.
Fuck. Also, that moment where it's like they take it out and it's literally just the fucking medicine cabinet in the hole against another medicine cabinet. For some reason, that's the scariest moment in that movie for me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, like, why is the hole there to begin with?
A cheap construction.
Yeah. For murdering. People are going to listen. People are going to need access. Okay, like it's got to be this way. Just build it the way I got schematics drawn this way. It's for a purpose.
On the schematic, it's like bathroom, tub, door, murder hole.
We're just going to cover it up with a fucking horribly placed medicine cabinet. But yeah, I can't remember who did that, or if it was a serial killer, or it was just or if it was just something that was happening, but like with multiple people. But I remember reading something about that at some point. Let's file that under reason. However many that I never want to live in an apartment complex.
I thought you were going to say that you never want to have a medicine cabinet.
Yeah, I don't really have much need for him.
No,
to be honest.
I feel like they talked about it in one of the making of documentary, like, because I watched so many things about Candyman when they did like Netflix movies, making
Movies
of
that
behind
made
the scenes
us.
shit. Yeah, More Noir talked about it, and then some other special. I feel like they talked about the medicine cabinet killer or whatever.
Yeah,
it was terrifying.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, no,
not a fan. Not a fan.
Yeah. Hot take, but I don't like murderers.
Look, I don't like
home invasions.
I'm not super into being in my bed at night sleeping and some dude crawls through a fucking medicine cabinet hole.
Yeah.
It comes in and kills me with bees. It's just something that personally not into.
Yeah, where'd you get all these bees?
Yeah, bro.
Just be
fucking ridiculous.
So many bees.
How am I gonna get them all out of this room? I'm dead.
Kind of want some honey.
Sounds like an old Dane Cook joke.
How fucking dare you, Derek?
So mean.
That's fucking
that was a low blow,
bro.
Punch every bee in the face.
That's so on the nose that I genuinely wanted to ask for a second, like, wait, are you quoting one of his actual jokes?
Yeah.
That's totally something that guy would say.
Yeah.
I want that.
Fucking hate bees. Yeah. It's so stupid.
They're moist bees. Moist bees. Moist bees.
What is that from?
I have no clue.
He just there's a whole fucking thing where it's just him like talking about how he hates the word moist, and the only joke is the way he pronounces moist.
Yeah,
moist.
Yeah, I got you.
Moist. See?
I mean,
We
it's working.
started at Skarsgård's abs.
Yeah.
We started at Skarsgård's abs, and we've come all the way to Dane Cook's jokes.
Ending with Dane Cook.
Wow.
Jesus. That's an apology.
I'm so sorry for Derek.
Rough.
That was rough.
He called me Dane Cook.
Yeah, that is pretty brutal.
I didn't call you Dane Cook.
Yeah, I would say he directly called you.
I said you reminded me
compared
of Dane Cook. Which,
Yeah.
Almost as bad.
You're not that bad. Oh, man. You guys got any more notes?
Yeah, they were considering Eddie Murphy to play Candyman.
You just dropped that one now.
What
the fuck?
I thought we were going to be done. And then you come out
we
with
need
that.
So much more conversation on this.
Was he referred by the dude from Beverly Hills Cop?
Yeah.
Because the husband is the guy from Beverly Hills Cop.
Fuck, it is.
Oh,
it is.
Yeah.
It is. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know he was considered for the role, but I forget exactly. Again, it was in that Tony Todd interview. He talked about it. And, yeah, I don't know. I think that they didn't harp too much on it. I think I know that the intent wasn't for him to be a slasher, and he did really become that. Like, he wasn't supposed to be that. He really was supposed to be this, gothic, romantic type. And they just thought Tony Todd just fucking embodied that, which he did. Eddie Murphy obviously would have been a very strange choice.
That would have been fucking weird.
Yeah.
I think that the second movie does a good job of still maintaining a lot of that gothic romance stuff, just expanding on it.
For
which
sure.
is interesting because it even in the second one, it's structured and like paced more like a slasher, but it's still not like there's so much more to it.
It felt a little weird because there was it felt romantic, and then you're like, Jesus, this is like your fucking granddaughter.
Yeah.
It's like, we're like, what are we doing here, dude? But I know, he's just join me is what he's saying. He's not like. I think
that's one of the things that they both kind of fall flat on is him choosing these. And it makes more sense in 2, I guess, as to why like he chooses her. Because like she's related to him, but like it does make it much weirder. But the second one is just like, so she was just there, like she just happened.
In
to
the
be,
first one,
like she just happened to be the one that was looking into it. So
I thought she looked like his lost love. I thought that played a role. Am I off on that? That was a feeling I got.
It might. I didn't feel that.
I could be way off on that. I wish I didn't.
You might.
I wish I didn't say that.
Oh my god,
it's art. It's supposed to be interpreted in different ways.
Yeah,
That's great.
It's art. It's art.
Yeah,
it's art.
You're like, I regret it all. Cut.
I'm mixing up movies. I'm mixing up movies here.
It was like you realized you got caught in quicksand, and now you're just
like, wait, I'm thinking of the Mummy where the knocks on the moon.
No, I gotta walk it back. Did I just say that? No.
I don't know.
Somebody throw me a vine, please.
In my mind, that's what it is, dude. I'm going to keep it at that.
I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, that's what I would expect. That's what I was getting at was like, she doesn't look, I mean, I don't know. They don't really show.
Dude, it's the Mummy, dude. He's the Mummy.
Right. Exactly. 100%. Yeah. He's Dracula and the Mummy is one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's technically still Dracula, honestly.
Yeah.
Because it's still the same, like, oceans of time, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
I crossed I crossed oceans of time to make you into an urban legend.
Cross oceans of honey is more like it.
Oh,
cut. That's it. There, dude.
Well, I had some other notes, but if you want to end it, we can end it. No. Apparently, the scene where his hook bursts through the bathroom cabinet was set up without Virginia Madsen's knowledge, so her reaction is authentic, cool. And she was terrified.
That's always super nice to do.
I thought she was good. I thought she was good in that. Yeah.
They apparently hypnotized her for some of the scenes and had like a trigger word, but she asked them to stop doing that because it made her uncomfortable. But that was yeah.
That's fucking wild.
And then another
got like an old time watch.
Yeah,
can you
I want to dig deeper into that now.
Dude, I love if she wasn't even like
stop that.
It wasn't even so much that she was actually hypnotized. It's just that she was sick of dealing with it. They kept being like, "Are you hypnotized yet?" And she's like, "No, yeah, I'm hypnotized. Can we stop now? I don't like it."
Yeah, it just said for her scenes with Candyman, they had hypnotized her and then given her a trigger phrase, but she grew increasingly uncomfortable with the method and asked for them to stop. So,
you're not
interesting.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You could be hypnotized just by Tony Todd talking to you. So I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, exactly.
Be my victim.
Yes, sir. No, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to fight back a little bit.
How about not?
Yeah.
She's just like,
yeah.
This is a funny one. In the original script, Candyman's name was to be called 13 times.
Jesus.
Bernard Rose reduced it to 5.
Candyman, 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 Candyman. It's too much. That's too fucking much.
Yeah, maybe 10.
5 is a lot.
Yeah.
Bloody Mary was 3.
Bloody Mary's 3.
Yeah, that's a perfect.
I'm down for you accidentally say his name once in front of a mirror and you're like, fucked.
No, you gotta go 3. Beetlejuice is perfect. That's Bloody Mary's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
I'm sure she'd love to hear that.
Better marketing.
They did.
What's that?
I said I'm sure she'd love to hear that, Derek.
Yeah.
Bloody Mary is perfect.
Yeah. She had better marketing than Candyman.
Yeah, much better marketing team.
Yeah.
That is, I wonder why they would 13. That's insane. We just want to
That's
make sure it's intentional. Anyone can accidentally say it 5 times.
Well, it's also one of those
shit.
It's one of those things where they're just like
unlucky number.
A dude's writing it and he's not thinking about how it's gonna play, and he's just like 13 times.
Once you say it 666 times while looking in a black mirror.
I 100% bet that was his first fucking move, and he was like, "That's too much. That can't."
That's too many.
13 is a good middle ground. It's only going to take 5 minutes instead of 2.
It plays out maybe a little better, like in a book, where you don't have to. But in a movie, that would never work.
I don't know, man. That's like a fucking paragraph.
Yeah.
Especially like Candyman. It's like a long word.
Candyman.
You could just say and said his name 13 times. Just like
they also leaves it and he said his name, Candyman. Candyman.
Spirals into 4 different pages.
Candyman.
Yeah.
And then the next page is a C. And then
hopefully people get that reference.
And then an N. And then a D.
Yeah,
and
you
then
can.
A Y.
Yeah, you could take up like half a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't fuck around. Another fun fact that I just found here is apparently they had a blacksmith make his hook. And when they went to go pick it up, he refused to sell it to them because he found out it was going to be used in a Clive Barker horror movie, and he was a devout Christian who wanted nothing to do with it.
That's awesome. That's great.
God.
Could you imagine?
This shit just has
like,
never.
Sorry, I made this hook for you, and I didn't realize it was for this, and I just my beliefs won't let me.
I want to know.
This hook to you. I'd be like,
how,
it's for,
I want to know how they fucking pitched it to him in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, what did you think you were making this gigantic, terrifying hook for?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was like, we just really
gigantic.
We just need a
fish.
we need a really substantial meat hook for what?
Yeah.
Meat.
Yeah. I don't know.
Fucking
Maybe he thought it was for like a parade float or something.
Yeah.
That's like everything going through my head. I was like, what would you need a giant hook for? And I'm like, the Jaws photo op at Universal Studios, obviously.
Captain Hook.
Yeah. Or a giant Captain Hook. Yeah.
Maybe
like on a parade
that's
float.
what he thought. Yeah.
Hello Macy's Day Parade.
Yeah. Pirates of the Caribbean.
Give him the Queen wave.
Yeah.
Can't. It's hard to do this on the camera. Fuck off.
Oh man.
And I am remembering something. I didn't write it though. I'm looking for it that I thought was really cool. I remember reading something about Bernard Rose had them Madsen and Tony Todd take some type of like dancing classes to like. Did you see that as well?
Yeah.
To like get to help like have some type of like romantic connection on set, like to have that type of
that makes sense.
Yeah. But I can't find it though.
I just found this from the first one. Is it typical for a professor to be married to a student who's still doing their thesis? That feels like a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the 90s, dude. That was cool.
That's cool. Yeah. But yeah, he made them take ballroom dancing classes together so they would have more of a romantic connection while playing their characters. Virginia posted some really great stories about Tony after he passed. Yeah, she posted on her Instagram a couple of times, and it was because she says this is the movie that she gets recognized for the most, and that's why like it means so much to her. She said anytime she's at the airport, somebody comes up and talks to her about Candyman, and she loves it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And it's Tony Todd. It was his favorite movie that he had ever done too.
Hell yeah,
that's awesome.
That's I'm sure.
I'd be so mad though if not only did I have to put bees in my mouth, but then I also had to take dance classes. Like it's like my worst
bees
nightmare.
In your mouth.
Well, yeah, that's just fucking awful. That sounds terrible. You want this job? All you got to do is go dance and put bees in your mouth.
Justin said, "Fuck that! I'm going to sell T-shirts."
It's 2024. It's about to be 2025. That might be a viable job soon.
That might. That might. Yeah. What a fucking pro.
Yeah. You just wait. This time next year, someone with 3.6 million followers just because they started a series of dancing with bees in their mouth.
Yeah.
And now they're getting invited to premieres and shit, and they're making big bucks.
Dancing with the bees.
God damn it. Oh man. Now we're at Dancing with the Bees.
Mm.
Oh.